Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Welcome back to the channel. We talk about economics and crypto and lots of other fun things. Before we dive on into this video, do me a favor, smash up that like button, hit the subscribe button, turn on the notification button, leave a comment in the comment section, all for the algorithm. And thank you all for supporting this channel in the many ways that you have. But okay, let's go ahead and dive on in. This is a bit of a different video in one regard. I wanted to do my normal routine of making a video around, sometime early afternoon, but we have the rate cuts, the FOMC meeting minutes being presented today. And if I were to make a video giving commentary on that, it would immediately be dated by the time that I would want this video to be published at 6 a.m. Eastern time tomorrow. And so I'm just making this video and then I'm hitting publish right afterwards. And I'm not really going to talk a ton about FOMC stuff. Aside to say from what I already said in my last video, I just really don't know what to expect. A lot of people are saying that things are going to be very bullish after the Fed meeting. A lot of people are saying that things are going to be very bearish. Things are going to go down. I could see lots of things. I could see both of those things. I could see it going up immediately and then down, or down immediately and then up. I really don't know. My intention, my game plan is to just hold until October and maybe into November, maybe even a little bit beyond there, because I think that October is going to be a bullish month. Nothing would surprise me, absolutely nothing, with whatever happens with this next FOMC meeting. We just don't have enough history when it comes to initial rate cuts after hiking cycles with Bitcoin. I mean, we have 2019 and that's it. And that was after a mini hike. That was only like 2.5 basis point hike. And then, I don't think that that's enough of a precedent to give commentary as to what's going to happen. So, okay. What do I want to talk about in this video? Somebody asked me, I'm thinking extremely long term. And now, of course, you guys know I'm in the United States. And I know that many of you watching this video are from different countries all over the world. And it's actually less than half of you, if you didn't know that, less than half of the people watching videos on my channel are in the United States. And so I am sometimes mindful of the fact that the world does not revolve around the United States, but really when it comes to the fact that the US dollar is the global reserve currency, it kind of does. I'm sorry to say that. Okay, I know that sounds very American, right? That I would, as an American, I would say that the world, that your investments revolve around the United States. I'm sorry. That's just reality right now. That's not going to be reality forever. I would say even in my lifetime, that's not going to be reality. That something else is going to supplant the US dollar as the global reserve currency. And so what's that thing going to be? Is it going to be another fiat currency around the world, or is it going to be Bitcoin? And here's the thing, okay? I'm really fascinated to see what happens. That's why my channel is actually named World War Bitcoin, because I see a future. I see a very muddy future, very cloudy future, because, all right, I was talking with some friends of mine over the weekend, and they were asking me if I thought that the United States would ever adopt Bitcoin as its reserve currency. And I said no. And the reason why I said no, again, this is behind the motivation for this channel, World War Bitcoin, is because you've got to understand what fiat currency is. You've got to understand what it gives, what access it gives to governments that have their own fiat currencies around the world. And so if you remember the Matrix, in the Matrix, we have that big reveal, the moment when Neo finds out that his entire life was just a simulation, that he's now in the real world and the entire life he lived was just his brain being hooked up to a computer. And what's the last thing that Morpheus says to him? He holds up a battery and he says that all of your life, I don't remember the exact words, but all of your life, it's been the machines have used you and turned you into this, the battery. All right, so what's the comparison to US dollar, to fiat currencies? If I were to hold something up right now, I would hold up a sock puppet. Excuse me, it took me a second there. I would hold up a sock puppet and I would say that fiat currency gives governments power to turn you into this. And I'd be holding up a sock puppet right now. Now, I'm being a little bit dramatic, but fiat currency is power. It is power. The reason why most countries in this world have converted from currencies backed by gold, backed by silver, to currencies backed by trust in the government is that so that they could exert more power over you, their constituents. Okay, so in the United States, we have the dollar, and we have my 4 key dates. Remember those 4 key dates: 1913, the creation of the Federal Reserve; 1971, the removal of the U.S. dollar from backing with gold; 2008, the introduction of quantitative easing; in 2020, the great debasement, the first of many, what I'm projecting to be great debasements of this fiat currency, which is a signal to the end of the fiat currency existence, of the fiat currency experiment, and what comes after that, I don't know. Maybe a new thing with the face of the dollar, but will be something entirely different. We'll still call it the dollar. And fiat currencies exist all over the world. It is the government finding new and creative ways to exert power over you through the decreasing of the value of your dollars or of whatever currency you have. Since 1913, the purchasing power of the dollar right now, last I checked at least, is 2% of what it was in 1913. And so as the government is printing more money, they are able to do more things, to do things that they otherwise would not have been able to do. And so if the United States government were to all of a sudden have a Bitcoin standard instead of a dollar standard, then, or if the world governments were to have a Bitcoin standard instead of a dollar standard, then what that means is for sure the United States is going to lose a lot of power. And if the United States were to have Bitcoin as a reserve currency, the United States would lose a great deal of power when it comes to being able to control the masses and to exert power over you. And I have never, I don't think in the 200, almost 50 years of the United States' existence, when have they ever decreased the power that they have over their constituents? So will they adopt Bitcoin? No, but there are countries, smaller countries, that don't have their own fiat currencies, like El Salvador. They use dollars as their currency. And so it's an easy transition to Bitcoin, and they're acquiring Bitcoin. They're continuing to accumulate Bitcoin. And it's going to be really interesting. I saw this thing about Bhutan. They have something like $800 million worth of Bitcoin right now. And will this be some kind of an equalizer when it comes to power on a global scale, that the first adopters and the first movers in this are the ones who get a leg up? That's something that I'm really interested to see. But, you know, not just the United States, a lot of these countries that are in power around the world, I don't think they're going to take too kindly on that. And so what's going to happen? World War Bitcoin. That's why this channel is named what it is. Again, cloudy future. My hope would be that the United States and other global powers around the world just accumulate Bitcoin and have some kind of reserve, like just similar to gold reserve, and that they don't do anything to try to destroy Bitcoin, and they're never going to be able to. You know, I mean, there's, I think, going to be a significant uptick in boating accidents. I hope you understand that joke there. If they try to destroy Bitcoin, that it's always going to be a thing. It is, in many ways, immutable. It really is. So, I don't know. I don't know what the future looks like. My hope, my desire would be that fiat currency would have no future, that there would be some kind of an evolution into how currency is used, and that evolution doesn't move to something like CBDCs. What's so terrible at CBDCs? Well, imagine receiving stimulus money and having a timeline as to when you have to spend that stimulus money. That sounds terrible. okay, that's disincentivizing saving. And what if you received a paycheck and you had a timeline, you had to spend this money in form of CBDCs? That sounds terrible. But anyway, I got to run. That's all I have for today. I hope you have a wonderful day, a wonderful rest of your week. I will most certainly be seeing you in another video.